I can't understand a bishop blessing a warship.
Preaching of violence is not acceptable.
Non-violence is not an absolute moral principle because sometimes violence is needed. You know, we would expect the police to exercise reasonable levels of force against antagonists who threaten, you know, ourselves, our children, our families, whatever. Naturally, that has to be there. It depends, you know. It requires good discrimination to know when to use and not to use, but it has to be used sometimes.
The preaching of violence is always wrong. This particular congregation had very significant numbers of pacifists.
If any religion preaches or supports the violence, in my humble opinion, that is not a real religion.
Islam is peace. Not only for the Muslims, we want peace, harmony, tranquility for all humanity.
You have an obligation to defend the innocent, the weak. You could have an obligation to defend your country against an unjust aggressor. But no, violence could never have a religious aspect in its own right.
Never ever did I nor Jewish ministers preach violence. This is totally against Jewish belief.
There is no excuse for sin. Right? Violence of any kind is sin.
Christian Scientists are not automatically pacifists.
As a Christian, we clearly perceive that Jesus saying that he did not expect us to use violence in all circumstances. So I won't agree with violence, you know.
I think sometimes it's a very sad thing we are reduced to finding the lesser evil.
Well, I rebel against the whole idea of preaching violence. That has no place in Jewish teaching as I understand it.
Say you have a mob trying to kill you, let's say, and you want to find a way to defend yourself. Probably it might involve kind of violence. Then I would say, okay, this is the last resort you have, so you have no choice to defend your life. But other than that, this kind of extreme circumstance, I would say, I wouldn't think it would be a good idea to recommend violence at all.
If somebody comes to you with intent to kill, you're entitled to take up arms and defend yourself, even to the point of taking preemptive action, if it's clear to you that your life is in danger. And this is how the fanatics justify it. That's how they justify it.
I think Jesus said it well when he said, you know, put away your sword. He that lives by the sword will die by the sword.
The principle of non-violence, which is given by Mahatma Gandhi in India, should be adopted by every country.
Jihad, or fighting for the sake of your religion or for the betterment of humanity, is not an individual compulsory act. If a Muslim country is invaded or forced to fight and pick up the weapon, of course all the Muslims would feel that they should do whatever possible within their capacity to help.
If you are in that position where you have to defend your life, you have to really think very seriously, and there can't be any rhetoric before that. You can't urge people to go out and do it before you're in that situation. Clearly that's incitement.